It's a beautiful fall day here in the village, and Millie from the bakery is getting a giant pumpkin from the errand boy. He's got his wheelbarrow full of pumpkins and gourds, and he's distributing them to people to make their pies and other dishes for Thanksgiving today. And Millie's going to make lots of pies with that pumpkin. And then we have the painter in the background, and he's working on a lovely painting today. Then up here, we have a turkey in the window of the boutique, and we have the preacher and his wife, and they're hosting a big Thanksgiving feast at the church, which the prince and princess have provided for everyone in the village who doesn't have their own feast at home. So they will be gathering lots of people into the church today so that they can have a lovely Thanksgiving meal as well. And they have a sign back here that says, "Give thanks with a grateful heart." There's a feast at the castle. Let's take a look. So the throne room has been set with a banqueting table, and they're feasting. We have the prince and princess and their companions here today. So here's a turkey that I cut out from a card, and a real pumpkin that was sitting on someone's porch for Halloween. And this table is it's like a little footstool I have, and I took the lid off of it, and it made a perfect table bottom, and then I just put this piece of tile on top of it. So it's kind of like a marble tile. And then I put a handkerchief on top of that for a tablecloth, and also a dresser scarf on top of that. So here's this pretty doll, and this guy who likes to drive in the carriage, and I made his costume. I'll be showing you more about him later. Here's the princess who was dressed as Cinderella for Halloween, and the prince, and we've seen him before with his trusty horse, his Dala horse that he likes to ride. And then this is the room that we saw last week with the black cloth and pictures from the Metropolitan Art Museum calendar. So we have some pumpkins sitting on top of the what would you call those? The tall stands here. And we have a table fit for a king. So we have plates and this little silverware that I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's the perfect size for the dolls. They have little napkins. We have salt and pepper from the kitchen. We borrowed things from around the village for this feast. There are things from the bakery, like the bread loaves that are made of pretzels. I made this turkey It's kind of funny, but also kind of cute. I like it. Not exactly realistic looking, but it's perfectly good for a doll turkey. So I used an egg shape that was, it's made of like paper, and then the drumsticks are little pieces of wood, and I attached these little papers to them, and then I used these pipe cleaners to make the wings. I put a little bit of greenery around it at the bottom, and it's sitting on a plate that belonged to my mother that's a very pretty decorative china plate. We have the pitcher of gravy here, which is just some brown clay inside this pretty little pitcher. We have some fruit and bread on a round wooden disc that came from the kitchen. I thought these beans looked like little potatoes in jackets, so I brought them to the table, and they're in this pretty little crock here. And everyone has some potatoes and bread on their plates already. Here's a funny little goblet that I pieced together with a plastic little bowl and a straw and a square little piece of sticky material. Back here we have some black beans in a little plastic bowl that had Play-Doh in it. And we have these vegetables, and most of these are buttons. These are buttons here, the tomato and cabbage and radish and pepper and beet. We have some carrots that are also buttons. I'm calling these some peas. It's a little plastic cluster I had. This is one of those little pots that was sitting in the princess's bedroom last week. We have a couple little pumpkins here, and these are candy corn pumpkins. And then we have the butter that I had in Millie's mixing bowl, and I've cut some slices of it here and put it on this little silver plate. Over here we have the dessert table. We have the tea service that usually sits at the tea room, and these pies that are sold at the bakery that I made. And this table is just a box sitting on top of a wooden table with a handkerchief and another little dresser scarf on top of it. The prince is sitting in his throne chair, and as well the princess is in the back. And then the other two guests are using these chairs that are usually in the brick townhouse. And then we have more dessert over here, which are the candied apples and the little pumpkin cookies from Halloween. So I think the dolls are just going to have a delightful feast today, and then they will probably sit in front of the fireplace and have a lovely day of giving thanks. And I give thanks for you, my viewers. Thank you so much for being here today and for coming to visit at the Doll Village. So happy Thanksgiving if you're in a part of the world where you celebrate Thanksgiving, which is pretty much the US. And if you're in another part of the world, every day is a good day to give thanks for the blessings you have in your life. I know I have so many in mine. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.